Your Royal Highness Crown Prince Haakon, Your Excellency Prime Minister Erna Solberg of Norway, distinguished heads of state and government, Dr. Irina Vokova, Director General of UNESCO, and many United Nations agency leaders, esteemed Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai, the Honorable United Nations Special Envoy for Global Education, Gordon Brown, Excellencies, distinguished ministers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for participating in this very important summit on education for development. I especially thank Norwegian government and Prime Minister Solberg for hosting this meeting. We meet just 6 days before the third international conference on financing for development, which will be held in Addis Ababa. And I also thank the Norway government for co-facilitating this very important consultation on these major global milestones. These two milestones are not just linked on the calendar. We are here to secure commitments to deliver on the promises on the Sustainable Development Agenda. Education is essential to its vision of life of dignity for all. My Global Education First initiative aims to advance that vision. I thank Norway and all other countries that have supported this advocacy initiative. I particularly welcome the announcement just made by Her Excellency Prime Minister, the establishment of a Commission on Financing of Global Education, whose 5 conveners are Prime Minister Erna Solberg of Norway, President Michelle Bachelet of Chile, President Joko Widodo of Indonesia, President Peter Mutharika of Malawi, and Director General of UNESCO, Ms. Irina Vokova. The co-conveners have asked Mr. Gordon Brown, a Special Envoy for Education, Global Education, to lead that commission, and I'm delighted that he has accepted. I will receive his report and act on his recommendations. I thank you for this initiative, Madam Prime Minister. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to be joined by Malala Yousafzai. Malala and her school friends embody the courage of girls resolved to claim their rights. They are the world's best answers to global threats. There is no more powerful force against the violent extreme than a girl with a textbook. Millions of girls are forced into marriage and out of school. Billions of children are taken from classrooms and put to work in fields and factories. The fight for education demands the fight against child labor and child trafficking. Excellencies, distinguished guests, this year marks the 70th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. The first woman ever to address the General Assembly of the United Nations was a teacher from Norway named Frida Dahlen. She was courageous and strong. During the occupation, she headed a secret society of teachers against the Nazis. She was even thrown into jail. When the war ended, Norway sent her to the brand new United Nations. She pointed out that women suffered and resisted during the war, and the world could not afford to leave them out of building peace. This Norwegian teacher knew what Malala shows today, and it takes courage to achieve justice. And we will never achieve justice until women have equal rights in all aspects of our life. I welcome this summit focus on girls, on emergencies, on the quality of education, and on investment in education. More than 6 million people asked for action on these issues when they signed the Up for School petition that I endorsed. Progress on these issues will advance our global campaign for a better future. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, 2 months ago in May, partners from around the world joined their voices at the World Education Forum in the Republic of Korea. Their Incheon Declaration offered a vision to transform lives through education. It called for significant increases in financing, and it pledged action to boost access, inclusion, equity, quality, gender equality, and lifelong learning. I thank all of you who helped forge the Incheon Declaration. I call on you to carry it forward here in Oslo. And I count on you to push for a bold set of Sustainable Development Goals to be adopted in New York this September. To turn promises into action, we have to mobilize resources. Official development assistance is essential. I thank donors for their invaluable contributions so far. We need to increase funding to achieve universal education. And at the same time, we need to improve the coordination of financing. That is why I'm pleased that a global commission on financing education has been launched. I welcome its establishment, and I look forward to reading its report again. The Commission should provide vital insights into the economic case for investment in education and recommendations on how we can achieve our goals. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on my way over here, I was receiving reports about some of the very serious crises unfolding in our world. We are dealing at this time with multiple complex emergencies in Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Sudan, South Sudan, Central African Republic, Mali, Libya, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and beyond. We are coping with the Ebola outbreak. Climate change is driving extreme weather events. The increase in emergencies and crises across the globe has left tens of millions of children and youth out of school. That raises the stakes for a strong international response. Right now, less than 2% of humanitarian aid goes to education. We have to do more to help children in crises. I welcome any additional funding for education in emergencies. I will never forget the Japanese students I met after the Fukushima disasters, or the girls in their rebuilt school in Gaza, or others in places where school is an island of peace in a sea of chaos. Children and young people struggling in emergencies are more than victims. They are seeds of future progress. Education is the soil to help them grow into global citizens who can contribute to our common future. At the partnership side event yesterday, we talked about how technology can help close the gaps and boost equality. Even more than digital skill, we need political will. This Oslo Summit is a chance to reaffirm the human rights to education. It is an opportunity to mobilize a political commitment. And I thank the political leaders who are participating in this very important summit meeting. And it is our moment to galvanize international support for education as the world prepares to adopt a new set of sustainable development goals to guide the struggle to achieve a life of dignity for all. Your Royal Highness, Prime Ministers, and President, ladies and gentlemen, I often talk about my own experience in wartime, when the food and books, all donated by the United Nations, UNESCO, UNICEF, and UNDP, and all the agencies. United Nations gave our shattered society a strong sense of hope. United Nations was a beacon of hope to me and to millions of children at that time, and to people. United Nations is still the beacon of hope to tens of millions of children around the people. We have to meet their expectations. I'm deeply grateful for that assistance. Without it, I would never be standing here before you as the Secretary General of the United Nations. And at the same time, I prefer to talk about success stories now. Malala is one of success story. She is our hope. She represents the hope of girls and many young children whose human dignity have not been properly respected. In her Nobel lecture, she said the Nobel Prize was for all those forgotten children who want education. Let this summit show that we will never forget those forgotten children. We will stand together so that they can get the education they want and they fully deserve. This will open a better future for succeeding generations to come. And I thank you for your leadership and commitment for education. Let's work together to make this world better for all. Let's give all human beings dignity they deserve for all. And I thank you very much.